YB stays on your neck.
It's a scene. It's an article written on Boxing Scene, which hasn't really given the opportunity for key people here to tell the truth of certain situations. One of those is Dillian Whyte, who will release a statement tomorrow, where a lot of this will be taken care of, and that speculation. Dillian Whyte had a hearing before this fight, and this is the information that I'm allowed to say, and I've wanted to say this, but you'll get a lot more information on this tomorrow. Considered, and the ruling was Dillian Whyte is clear to take part in the contest. That's it, really. Now, the information that will come out tomorrow and other bits and pieces will give you further information of that. And Dillian Whyte, you know, I don't want to speak on Dillian Whyte's behalf, even though I'm his promoter, but he's got a lot to say on this matter. Give Dillian Whyte his time to address the situation, make his statement, wait for the facts, and then make your judgment.
Yo, my dance, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. Wow. I made a video a day or two ago when all of this Dillian Juicy Whyte business dropped, and I said, bearing in mind how long it's taken for Dillian Whyte to come out with a statement, and bearing in mind all the hype that Eddie cover-up Hearn has been giving it. Oh yeah, you know, yeah, just wait for tomorrow. Oh yeah, I've got so many things I want to say, but let's just wait for Dillian Whyte. He's going to clear it all up tomorrow. When you build that much hype and that much anticipation, people are expecting things. It's been how long now? You popped on the 17th, 10 days ago, and you still had nothing to say. You tried to cover it up, it got exposed, and now you're leaving it with the lawyers. In my opinion, it looks like a bit of a cover-up. The whole, oh, I'm going to leave it with the lawyers. Oh, yeah, as if it's going to blow under the rug. Until you, I don't get what you want us to wait for. Oh, yeah, Eddie Hearn and Dillian saying, oh, yeah, it's wrong, people speculating. Well, what do you want, what exactly are you meant to do? Just sit here and say, oh, no, Dillian's got it covered. I was expecting a lot more after all the hype and given the severity of the accusations. Let's go through his response, or this detail. Oh yes, oh, Dillian Whyte's going to come out with a lot of details tomorrow. I can't say much. And what irritates me is Eddie Hearn said, as you've just heard, he said there's many things which are inaccuracies, which Dillian Whyte's going to cover. That's what he said. Facts. Out of his own mouth. In this, there was no covering of anything. All it looks like to me, a guy who's almost putting his hands up in the air. When people go to the lawyers, that's when you know your game set and matched, in my opinion. Because if there was facts all over the place, he would have come out and slayed the facts. The minute you bring lawyers into things, that's when it's a bit more wishy-washy, in my opinion. Anyway, let's take it from the top. He says, I am so disappointed with the rubbish that has been said about me over the last few days. I have lawyers dealing with it, and I've been told that I can't talk about it for good legal reasons. I was cleared to fight, and I won that fight fair and square. Thanks for the support. No good. We learn absolutely nothing in there. I know there'll be Dillian Whyte fans who'll be sitting there saying, oh, just wait for the lawyers. I don't want to wait for the lawyers. I don't want to. That can take years, waiting for lawyers. We know that for a fact. Lawyers take years. And also, with lawyers, it doesn't mean, for all we'll know, the case will end, and it could end in a place where there'll be a non-disclosure agreement, or whatever. The minute you bring lawyers in, my point is, the minute lawyers come in, nothing ever gets disclosed to the public. That's what I feel anyway. We'll have to see how it goes, but it seems, from all the bits of information I've observed, it does seem a bit fishy. There was a video that leaked the other day, which I'm going to do a video on, and Eddie Hearn, this was before it broke, Eddie Hearn and Dillian Whyte are talking, they've been caught on camera, talking about getting away with this business, and they're all laughing and giggling. So it looks a bit fishy, in my opinion. It looks a bit fishy.com. But we'll see, and I'm not sure, what irritates me is, I'm not sure either way, but the fact that no one's coming out to clear it up, why I don't get why the lawyers are telling them not to say anything. Well, I do. I understand lawyers in general, they don't want their clients, it's better for them if they do the talking. But that said, it won't prejudice your case if there was some facts about there. Does that make sense? From a lawyer's point of view, they want to minimise risk, absolutely. So they'll tell Dillian, don't say anything. However, in reality, if Dillian does have some facts, if he is innocent, they won't coming out and telling the public your facts will not prejudice your case, will it? The only time you shouldn't really talk is if you ain't got no facts and you're just going to be mumbling and telling lies and trapping yourself, which it looks like to be the case. Because if you have a load of facts sitting there, why not come out? If you know their truths, does that make sense? If you know their truths, you can come out and say them. That's the simple rules. The only time you need to remain silent is if you've got a whole load of lies that you're all mixed up in. That's what I think anyway. And this sort of stuff is cut and clear anyway. Did you or did you not have it in your system? So for him to stay silent on that, I just think it's fishy. I really do. And I'm disappointed. He sits here saying, oh, I'm disappointed with the rubbish that's been said about me. Well, I'm disappointed that you and Eddie gassed us up about, oh yeah, we're going to hear about this big statement and don't worry, it's all going to be cleared up tomorrow. I thought, honestly, we were going to get a 4 or 5 page A4 document, or at least one A4 page, talking about what's gone on. Instead, we get, oh, the lawyers dealing with it. And that's the other thing as well I want to touch on. It says here, I'm so disappointed with the rubbish that's been said about me over the last few days, and I think that's quite ironic. I know I've said it quite often, but it's true. What about, so Dillian Whyte's disappointed that people have accused him of taking steroids, but when he was making video after video telling AJ was secretly having TUEs and secretly injecting testosterone, that was all fun and games. So, in my opinion, Dillian Whyte, he gives it a big one about, oh yeah, he's a road man, and oh yeah, he's all for the banter. But he's not all for the banter. He's good at what he is. Dillian Whyte's a bully. He's great at giving it out, but when it comes to taking it, he don't want to take it. Oh, I'm disappointed with the rubbish that been. Oh, I'm bringing the lawyers in. The lawyers are going to help me. Look, I'm so disappointed. The fans don't support me. Wait, and like I said before, people like, I don't know, pick a fighter who's quiet and don't say nothing. If a fighter who don't accuse other people without evidence, if a fighter who minds their business get pops for stuff, I understand them coming out and saying I'm disappointed. I understand them coming out and saying I'm getting lawyers involved. But don't be giving out the smoke to everyone and having a right laugh on Anthony Joshua's expense. But then when it's your turn, you want to bring lawyers in and you want to talk about how it ain't funny. It's just a bit of a sideman move, in my opinion. And I know there'll be Dillian Whyte fans out there who want to try and defend this, but it's the facts. He threw stones in a glass house, and now it's his turn to take the smoke, and he don't want to take it. In fact, that's another thing I'm going to do a video on. He's deleted his Instagram. Gone. Dillian Whyte's Instagram is gone from the face of the internet. That's what we do know. Disappeared. I wonder why that is. I wonder where that went. Do you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't look like a good response after all the things he's had to say about everyone else. I thought he was a bit more what's it called? A bit more thicker skin than that. But clearly people give out a perception and they're good at giving it out, but they ain't good at taking it. Anyway, before I go, let me clear this up as well. People have been blaming Eddie, and I actually don't blame Eddie. Not because I'm a Matchroom. Well, you know what? Take it as you want. If you want to call, you know what? I'm a Matchroom fangirl. Fine. But the reason I don't blame Eddie is because, from his point of view, I do understand, and it's a bit of a tricky one, in as much as he was legally cleared. Now, what's not clear is if there was any corruption going on behind the scenes. That's what's not clear. As in, did Eddie influence UCAD? We don't know. That's what people are trying to allege now. Which I'm being honest. If there was nothing dodgy going on, why wouldn't you tell your opponent? Put it this way: the way I like to look at things, I have quite a lot of empathy. So I like to look at things from the point of view of: would you want to know? Eddie Hearn and Dillian Whyte, would you have wanted to know if Rivas had something go over? And I bet you bottom dollar you would have liked to have known. Whether or not you may well have still gone on with the fight, but why not share that information? And in fact, the fact that Dillian Whyte and Eddie Hearn chose not to share that information implies there's some snidiness going on. Does that make sense? Because if there is nothing snidey going on, why wouldn't you promote full disclosure? Why wouldn't you encourage the free flow of information? And at least give cleared or not? And that's what I'm trying to say. Yes, you were cleared. Eddie Hearn keeps banging on about, oh, we were cleared. Well, if you were cleared, why not tell Rivas then? It's not an issue, is it? If you were cleared, there's no issue there. And if anything, Eddie Hearn says, "Oh yeah, I'm in the clear because I was I'm legally obligated to put the fight on once you kind of cleared it," and I absolutely agree. But with that in mind, because you're legally obligated to put the fight on, why didn't you tell Rivas? Because if you told Rivas and he said, "Oh, I don't want to fight," he would have been breaching contract because you were cleared. So from my point of view, there was no downside in telling Rivas because he couldn't have pulled out of the fight. Could he? Otherwise, he'd have been breach of contract because you would have had the case supporting you. Yeah, the board have put it on. We just want to. By the way, we wanted to let you know because I thought it was the right thing to do. I thought it was the right and the just thing to do. Dillian Whyte had a thing. We want to keep it private, etc., etc. But this is the case. We've been cleared, and the fight will go on. If you don't want to take the fight, you're going to be in breach of contract. Does that make sense? Because now what's happened is, often when you try and be snidey and try and be sly, things end up coming out anyway. Now what's happened is, now it looks like, rightly or wrongly, intention or no intention, now it looks like you were hiding things. So you haven't you haven't gained squat. Your reputation is in the toilet now. Whereas you could have literally cleared half of this up already if you'd have come out on the 17th and said, "Listen, I'm not even sure why I didn't make it public, to be honest." Then. Because you know how things are like today. There's everyone's trying to make a name for themselves. Whistleblowers are looking to get a quick check and whatnot. I bet the guy who broke the story got a few bob. I bet one of his inside sources got paid, and that's how it works today. You can't really keep much. No one's. As an example, look at QAnon inside the Trump administration. Within a presidential administration, you've got a guy leaking official stuff. That just goes to show you can't really put nothing down these days. So you're better off, if you are not being dodgy, you're better off coming up and being honest. But yeah, unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to know squat for a good while, and I'm disappointed. I understand why they go in the legal route because it's the safe thing to do, but Dillian Whyte being meant to be allegedly a people's person, is allegedly a Jack the Lad and whatnot. I would have thought he would have come out and not hid behind lawyers, but that's the route he chose. So from now on, I don't want to see oh yeah, I'm a roadman, and oh yeah, no, you're a lawyer, Don. Yeah, you're a square essentially. The minute anything kicks off, you hide behind lawyers, which is fine. But don't give it the I'm a yard man and all this business, because you're not a yard man. You ran to lawyers. That was your. When it got tough, your first thing was to run behind lawyers. Nothing wrong with that. So would I. But then again, I'm not making out I'm some big yard man. Simple. Your first instinct was to run behind lawyers. That's it. So no more. And if you're going to be a corporate Don, you shouldn't be. You got to make sure you're fully corporate. No more making accusations. No more making accusations on other people. And keep it fully corporate. Keep it one or the other. Don't try and play both sides. That's my opinion anyway.